So time to finalize the styling, especially here on the read later page, but also on the other pages when it comes to the distance between our navigation links here. So let's start with that distance. For this, we need to go to the root static folder and there app CSS. Here we control how our main navigation items are styled. And here I want to add a margin to the left of 1 rem on all those links in the main navigation. And with that, if we reload with the cache cleared, that is added. So that's looking better. Now on stored posts, we don't really see the navigation because it has no background. That's something we should change. I'll add a new CSS file, read-later CSS, and in here I want to set up the styling for the read later HTML file. Actually, it's called stored posts HTML, so that's the name I'll choose here as well. And you'll find this finished CSS file attached as always. Now in stored posts, we therefore now want to make sure we import this file by adding a block CSS files as we have it in the other templates as well, which we of course also have to end here, where we simply add a link pointing at that file with the static tag, and then this file is stored in block/stored post CSS. That's the path to that CSS file that should be included here. Now for that to work, we need to load static. Okay, so we got this. Now for the actual styling. I'll copy the main navigation styling from the post detail page, so from the post detail CSS file, and add this here as well in stored posts. And if we save this and reload, we now got this navigation. Now I also want to then target this section and give it some styling. So I'll give this section an ID of stored posts, and then target this section from inside the CSS files. There I'll give it a margin of 8 rem to the top, auto to left and right, 3 rem to the bottom, and auto to the left. This was to the right. Give it a padding of 2 rem maybe, and a border radius of 12 pixels. A slight box shadow, as I have it in many other places of this application as well, with the same values as I use there typically. And a background color of white. With those changes made, that's this box. Now it's way too big, so therefore let's give it a width of 90% and a max width of just 20 rem maybe, so that it's way smaller. Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe 30 rem. And then let's also target the actual list which is in there, the unordered list. Here I want to set the list style to none to remove the bullet points, but I do want to style the individual list items then. I want to give them a border of 1 pixel solid and a light gray color, a padding of 1 rem, and a margin to the bottom, or to top and bottom actually, of 1 rem for some spacing between the list items. And with that, that's how this would look like. Actually, margin should only be to top and bottom, so I'll set it to 0 left and right here. And on the unordered list, I want to set margin to 0 and padding to 0. Now the text here, the link, should look a bit differently. I'll target that as well and set this to display block and make it use the entire width it can get, and actually take the padding from the list item and add that to the anchor tag instead, so that the entire list item will be clickable thereafter, this entire box. And set the text decoration to none, and give it a little hover and active style. So a hover and stored posts, a active. Here I want to change the background color to this grayish color, like this. Now that's what we have here. Now I want to change the text color of this. And I want to assign this border actually not to the list item, but to the anchor tag. And change the text color to black here. Actually not black, but a dark gray. And with that, that's the look we got. We can still click this. And maybe let's also make it bold with font weight bold, like this. And we're done. Now, again, you can always fine-tune this and make sure it looks exactly the way you want it to look, but I think this doesn't look too bad. Now we can store posts here as well, and of course not just one post, but as many posts as we want to. Now let's finish this up by making sure that posts which are stored for reading later, we don't show the read later button again, but instead we can remove them from our read later list.